NPR President and CEO Jarl Mohn says while at an NPR station in Alabama, he heard many stories about why millennials started listening to NPR.
I asked each of them how they came to listen to NPR, and each one of them had a very different story. There was the typical, what we call backseat baby, the kid that grew up and the parents, like I did with my kids, forced them to listen to NPR when they're in the back of the car. Please turn on some rock and roll. We had those that discovered it and came to it through podcasts. We had those that came to it because friends had recommended it. We had, this is just this one little meeting we had in Birmingham. One had just moved to town and was just dialing around trying to find a new favorite radio station and happened to stumble onto the public radio station.
Rebecca Baca, president of NMSU's Broadcasting Club, says she gets her news from many different sources, but not in the traditional way.
But I get it all from my phone. I don't have regular television, so a lot of my stuff comes from the internet, but my phone is just a really easy place for me to get it all. I can get it from Twitter, I can get it from my news app, and I just recently downloaded the NPR One app, which has been a really good source for me already just the few days that I've had it.
Mohn says by utilizing things like apps and podcasts, it can bring in younger listeners.
So whether it's online, whether it's on broadcast, whether it's on a smartphone, regardless of what the device is, a tablet, a desktop, a laptop, a radio, we think for what we do, the news gathering, the storytelling we do, we want to reach the people that like our kind of news and storytelling every possible way.
Mohn says whether millennials or any listeners first start listening to NPR during the election or other major news events, he hopes the engaging content encourages them to stay.
What I hope we can do when people come in and listen, they can hear the kind of storytelling we're doing. And the quintessential driveway moment that we all know, that moment where you can't get out of your car, if we have something like that every 20 to 30 minutes, people will start to rediscover, re-fall in love with the type of programming and content we do. My fantasy is that across the entire country, people are sitting in their driveways. I see, thousands and thousands of cars sitting in their driveway with the engines running, people listening to NPR because they can't get out of their car because the next story keeps them in. It's a wonderful fantasy. We'll see if we can do it.
For KRWG, I'm Samantha Sonner.